He's getting the build out on it right now, March 14th.
Okay, good evening. We're going to go ahead and call the Area Plan Commission November 6, 2025 meeting to order, please. Could I get roll call?
Vicki Andrews.
Here.
Harry Baumgartner.
Here.
Tyson Brooks.
Here.
Rick Elwell.
Here.
Jared Hahn. Here. Moran.
Here.
Michael Carafin.
Here.
Jeff Lance.
Here.
Tim Rohr.
Here.
John Schumacher.
Here.
Jeff Kemper.
Here.
Is that perfect attendance? Well done. Well done. We have the old minutes that are in your packet. Board members, be advised that there are two sets, one from the October 2nd meeting and one from our October 14th meeting at the 4-H venue. So take a peek at that. If you have any corrections or things that you would like to note, now would be the time. If not, I need a motion to approve the old minutes as presented.
I don't have any. I would make a motion to approve.
We have a motion approved. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor, right hand.
I got to abstain on the second and vote for on the 14th because I want to hear the second.
You know, this is the one about the CFO, right?
Yes.
Well, it says that Groff Lance seconded that. I don't know who Groff Lance is.
Roth.
I believe your vacant alternate had shown up at that point in time.
It's the tiredness of typing these over and over.
Come on, Groff.
Yeah.
Approved as is with one minor change and one abstain from the second, but approved for the 14th. Anyone not in favor, raise your hand at this point.
I'll have to abstain. I wasn't at either one.
Yeah,
That's
so
fine.
just for board clarification, you don't have to abstain because you're not there.
Correct. You can
It's
totally
not a-
approve. If you look
not a
through them and you
requirement.
don't see any typos, then you can totally vote for it. Attendance not required for voting on old minutes. I believe we're fine. Okay. Whoa, I think my microphone's cutting in and out a little bit. Okay. Do we have old items that we need to discuss this evening?
No, we do not. Well, yes, actually, we do
Yeah.
have one old item.
Okay.
Sorry.
Would you like to deal with that, or do you want me to?
No, you go ahead and.
Okay.
introduce it.
We have our first old item is A250608 Jefferson Township. It is the northeast quarter of 2128 North 12 East. Hillcrest Development Corporation requests approval for a proposed gas station and convenience store. Property is located at the northwest corner of State Road 1 and Wood Creek Drive in Austin, Indiana, 46777. It is currently zoned B3. Do we have a representative here? Come on up, state your name, and tell us what's going on.
Good evening. My name is Rob Sweet with McBride Dale Clarion, address 5721 Dragon Way, Suite 300, Cincinnati, Ohio, 45227. Here tonight on behalf of Casey's and acting as a site development manager. I'm also here with Matt Atkins. He's our Casey's real estate representative. Say hi, Matt. And Dawn Eppert. She is the Casey's district manager for the region in this market. And she also has a secondary interest in this as she is a resident local to Huntington, which is my understanding it's not real far away from here, has some grandkids that grew up in the area and is very familiar with the town of Ossian. And this will end up being her store whenever, if and when this does take place. Not gonna go through all the headaches that we had the last time, but I will give you a brief recap. So we met back in June and proposing the gas station development. We heard the concerns from the neighborhood, and we really went back and tried to sharpen our pencils and figure out what we can do to address some of these issues. And so first and foremost, we looked at the site plan and some of the quality of life issues that were there. And the first biggest change that you can see on the plan is that we've added about 2 panels, 2 areas here of vinyl fencing. So they sit in line with the building to add that kind of extra screening and protection back there. I think we had some landscaping over on this side. We removed it, given what the neighbors over here had talked about. So we've added some 8-foot vinyl fencing to the back sides, this back curb line, and this back side of the building to. Right back in here. So we had screening back in here
So it
before.
goes the whole length of what?
So it does not go the whole length, it just is the,
Well, not where the building is,
right,
but on both
and then
sides.
back up in here. And so we added that to kind of mitigate those impacts of noise and some of those other items that were brought up to us, quality of life type issues. The second item we're proposing to do is to change the dumpster enclosure. We had it before as a chain link enclosure with slats. We're now going to go to masonry. That's also going to help reinforce those items, some of the details that we have with the dumpster enclosure as well. The third item that we looked into is the lighting on the backside of the building. And what we have in front of you here and over there is kind of an intensity map of how the lights work. So we've dimmed the lights on the backside of the building, and as you can see, the intensity here is around the canopy and around the side of the building. There's a fine line that we're walking between too dark and unsafe and a nuisance. So we gotta keep that in mind. We also have to keep our employees safe that may have to utilize the backside of this building. But we have dimmed the lights. We're well over 100 and some odd feet away from the nearest residential structure. So with all that, this is what you're gonna see back here is just basically dark. It's gonna be, you'll have about 5 feet off the back of the building, and then the rest of it's gonna be dark. These are all LED lights. These are all LED downcast, and we changed the fixtures out on them as well, so they are less intense than what we were initially proposing. We're still at 0.0 on the foot candles at the property line, so we made that change. We're also adding a screen panel to the top of the building to screen the rooftop equipment. That will also provide some clarification on the noise and other issues that may be produced from back there. Then we got into traffic, and we started looking at the traffic plans and whatnot. And on our site, what we ended up doing is we're gonna add a stop sign to help stop control traffic, so traffic just doesn't flow in and off the site. There actually has to be a pause there. We've also added a truck no right turn. So this will help control any trucks or anything that goes back into the neighborhood. Right there. Casey's is unique. They do control about 90% of their deliveries. They all come directly from Casey's. There's a rogue beer truck or a soda truck every now and then that may come on site, but we can control our deliveries, and we know not to go back, not to make a right to go back through the neighborhood. We can have our groups make the left to come out on Wood Creek and go back to the intersection. As we were going through the traffic, NDOT got involved, and they said, we want to see a traffic impact study. So we did a traffic impact study. The results of that basically were add some turn lanes. Well, we'd love to do that, but for us to do a turn lane, would have to increase the width of the right-of-way, which then, in order to get the merges correct and those kinds of things, would have to widen the bridge. And that's not really feasible for Casey's to do. However, we are gonna do a traffic signal. This was actually recommended by NDOT as a alternate to doing a traffic lane, so we are gonna put in a signal. The signal plans right now look something like this. So we'll have a signal that goes, it's a span wire signal. We'll have a pad on Wood Creek. We're gonna pull back some of those markings, but we will have a traffic signal here to help control not only traffic flow onto Wood Creek, but we also found while we were doing the impact study, there is some level of service delays out here on State Route 1. This will also help alleviate those service delays. So we're not only fixing a problem that's currently going on, but we're also we feel we're making the intersection better by having the signal and being able to control traffic a lot better. And then we're also gonna this is that split lane, we're also gonna turn that into a right turn only and a through lane, so heading southbound. So that should alleviate those issues as well. We feel that by doing the signal and doing all these other improvements that we've adequately addressed the comments and concerns from the neighbors previously. We also feel that we've gone above and beyond what the code requires us to do. The property is zoned correctly. We're fixing an issue that's currently causing delays out on Indiana 1 by adding the signal. With that being said, one thing that we will say, and I'll end it with this, is Casey's has a mantra. So if you ever go to their headquarters in Iowa, They're here for good. They want to be a part of the neighborhood. You go into a Casey's store, it's here for whatever community they're in. This one will be here for Ossian. So we want to be a member of the community. We know that it's a needed commodity, talking with the economic development director, that, you know, Ossian is seeing growth. We want to be that good neighbor. We want to play nice with the other kids in the sandbox, if you will. And with that being said, we respectfully request approval of the project, and we're happy to answer questions. We've got 3 people here tonight. Thank you.
Stay put for a sec.
All right.
The board members might have some questions for
Sure.
you. Reiterate, on what side of the entrance, the ingress egress, will the stop sign be on?
The exit side, so it'll be the
West side.
side. So it'll be
Okay.
here. Yeah.
So for pulling out, there'll
Yep.
be a stop sign in
Correct.
your ingress egress?
Correct.
Excellent.
Do you mind, the most recent one you showed, the one with the turn lanes?
Yeah.
So if you've got a tanker vehicle in that right-hand turn lane, I'm just wondering about the, looks like Wood Creek Drive.
Yep.
If that tanker vehicle has to make a right-hand turn and swing out into the road in order to make that, are they going to be blocking just the through lane a little bit, or is it going to cut all the way over in order
Making
to?
this movement here,
Correct.
it may drag a little bit, but for the most part, we're gonna try to get all our traffic to come up this way. So it makes the left turn into the site easier,
Okay.
so you're not swinging out. But if there is a case, there may be a little bit of swing over, but for the most part, we're gonna try to direct it to come up this way.
Okay.
Typically, what I've seen, being a certified driver's ed instructor, a semi will put the right signal on and then use the main lane and cut across the turn lane. So they'll leave the turn lane open, be in the main lane with their signal, and then make the right.
Yeah.
Legal. Eh.
I was just wondering how I guess wide Wood Creek was. Would the turn lane or the through lane be adequate to do that if they did come from the north, or would they have to swing even further out into
Right.
the oncoming lane to make that?
And they wouldn't have to go into the oncoming lane. They would kind of barrel out and around if they need to. They're 12-foot, I think they're 12-foot wide lanes out there, 11-foot wide lanes. So there's some ample maneuverability space out there.
According to Mr. Lotzheiser, your comments, have the issues that we needed, have they been addressed?
Yes, as far as the items that were brought up from the previous meeting, I think the only other thing that was brought up, it was more about soil
Yeah.
testing. Can you talk a little bit about that?
We had a geotechnical report done. We do have to replace some soils out there, so they can compact, but that's all on Casey's dime. That's where we have to do that in order to make the site constructible. So that's the other thing we're also doing too. We're also cleaning up a piece of property that was basically ruled undevelopable. We're gonna remove soils, we're gonna replace the soils and do what we need to do to make it happen. I don't know what went on before we had a contract on here, and frankly, that's really none of our business. I know there was one resident that was concerned about the dredging of the ditches, and that's not our business either. So what is our business is trying to make this site developable so we can have a business occur on this property, and that's what we plan to do.
The soils that you excavate, excuse me, soils that you excavate,
Yeah,
those will go off-site,
correct,
and then you'll be bringing in stone.
Correct.
Bringing in something else.
correct.
It's not just gonna get site.
No. We'll remove what we can. If we can use any of it, we will, but if we don't, likely we're gonna have to take it someplace and dump it. I don't know where, I'm not privy to that, and that's none of my business.
What kind of traffic lights will be installed?
Standard Indiana IDOT traffic lights, NDOT traffic lights.
Are they like flashing lights, or are they gonna be?
No, they're real signals. They're 3 signals.
With pressure sensors?
Yeah,
So basically, it'll stay green on Highway 1 unless the pressure sensor is triggered on the side street.
that is correct. So yeah, we don't anticipate them being flashing, we anticipate that being usable signals.
Is there a known cost for that, and will you guys be bearing that cost?
We will be bearing the cost of it. We've asked, because we have the issue on N.1, we have had some correspondence with the Community Development Department, trying to see if there's any kind of cost-sharing opportunities, and we're looking, see if there's kind of any kind of grants or anything that we may be able to utilize for our improvements.
You may not be the person for this, but do you know what the expense of that will be?
It's expensive. We're just gonna leave it at that. It's expensive.
Fair enough.
Can we just ask somebody to ask a question?
There'll be a public comment in a moment. So, board members, what we're doing right now is the petitioner's here. The board has the opportunity to address the petitioner. Once that opportunity closes, then I will open up the opportunity for public comment. Feel free to come up, ask your questions. Mr. Sweet here will not answer those questions at that point. We'll write those questions down. I'll close down the public comment section and then bring Mr. Sweet back up. We'll address those questions and you'll hear the answers to them. But once the public comment section is over, it's over. That makes sense? Okay. But thanks for asking, appreciate it.
When the traffic study was done, was that on Wood Creek or was that on State Road 1 or?
It took both.
And did that take into consideration, like, when the preschool was coming and going, or?
I believe it did. We would have to study all traffic out there for that intersection. So we would have done, I'm just reading this email that we got the other day, signal is warranted based on the volumes of the development, therefore the TIS recommends installation of traffic signal. But yeah, we've studied, we have to study it. We have a document that we have to provide to NDOT that shows our scope of the study, and that's what we did.
Without that document, you would have never received NDOT approval.
Correct. We technically don't have it. We've been working with them on this. They were the ones that actually recommended the signal in lieu of the traffic lanes. So they are on board with it. They have seen this. But we plan, depending on how tonight goes, if it goes positively, we will submit the study along with the application for the traffic installation. If it doesn't, we won't, because we're not going to go in there.
So that study's not been submitted,
It's not been submitted, but it has been reviewed.
so it's not technically like public information study yet.
Correct.
Reviewed by NDOT.
Correct.
So they've seen it.
But it hasn't been formally, there's no formal application on it.
Correct.
We've not seen that traffic study.
That is correct.
Correct. Because we just got it back, I think, a week ago. So all this kind of came together in the past week.
Okay.
Are we the ones that asked to see a traffic study, yes?
We asked when it was done.
NDOT demanded it was done.
And with NDOT, I don't know if this is the right way to say it, it really doesn't matter what our opinion is, whatever the NDOT, traffic counts and turn movements and all that, if they say it needs to be 3 lanes, it needs to be 3 lanes. If they say stoplight, stoplight. Like that's, we really don't have a say in what traffic control goes on to a state road.
So I guess my question more directly then is, we got what we asked for?
I believe so. I mean, if NDOT has reviewed it and they're making a recommendation of traffic light, I'm assuming that they're looking at the study and saying, okay, with this data, here's your options.
We'll also throw this in there too. It did warrant, so there's like, what, eight items that we have to meet to get a signal. And that's what they consider a traffic signal warrant. We meet a bunch of them. And so therefore, that's why, instead of doing the turn lanes, that's why they suggested we do the signal.
Board members, any further questions for Mr. Sweet? Okay, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Would now like to open up to public comment. So if you'd like to make a comment to the petition or have some questions about that petition, now's your opportunity. We just ask you to come forward, state your name, and then let us know what you want us to know.
My name's Dawn Thornsberry, and I actually have a couple questions. Question number one is what were the dates that the traffic study was done? I actually didn't drive over any of those lines that you typically have in traffic studies ever, the whole summer. Haven't driven over them in the fall either. So curious when it was actually done and if it was done when school was in session. Number two, when we were talking about the fence, we asked for shrubbery and fence to help deaden the noise, not just a replacement of shrubbery with a fence. So did you guys decide you weren't gonna do both and you're just gonna do the fence? That's my two questions.
Thank you. Thank you. Is there an extra pen around? Mine's running out of ink, unfortunately. I'll come down. Ooh. Zeus. Thank you.
It's on camera.
My poor pen. Rest in peace. Next.
Lisa House.
Lisa, can you pull the mic a little closer, please?
You'll be able to hear me. In addition, would also like to know when the traffic study was done. I'd also like to know how it was done, because I agree, we never drove over any. And information, I believe, that my husband sent to you all from the state showed a traffic study that was done south of Wood Creek Drive.
Next. Don't be shy. Once I close it, it's closed. Come on up, Donna.
Dawn, like the morning sun.
I added an extra syllable. I apologize, Don.
That's all right, I just have fun with you. Thornsberry, just like it sounds. The question is, if nobody goes to Casey's.
Dawn, you can talk into your
Sorry.
mic so the street.
Yeah, so
If nobody goes to
he'll answer the
Casey's?
question after we call him back up.
If nobody goes to Casey's, is it gonna be a Low Bob cigarette shop eventually? What happens if it fails? I'm not sure that it would, I'm just curious.
Next. Going once, going twice. Okay, I'll now call the public comment session to close. Mr. Sweet, could you come back up, please? Question number one was the when and the how of traffic study.
So the traffic study would have been done September-ish is when we would have collected counts. Likely done through MyoVision, so you wouldn't have driven over anything. It would have been all video cameraed.
Okay, BioVision video camera done in September.
And it's a private study, so you wouldn't have, there wouldn't be any record of it because it's a private study. Correct.
In the words of Monty Python, show us a shrubbery.
We did it in lieu of.
Okay,
If we
in
need
lieu
to
of.
add additional shrubbery, then do you want that on the inside or the outside?
So, keep in mind.
Oh, yeah.
Keep in mind, there is a ditch that runs along there.
Correct.
Working around the fence is going to be hard enough.
Mm-hmm.
If they were given approval to be within a certain footage. If it's the desire to require shrubbery, it needs to be on the outside of the fence, not towards the ditch side. Because it's going to make maintenance of the ditch a whole lot harder.
Mm-hmm.
As it grows, everything else.
And that's really why we pulled that off, because we wanted to increase that screening on that side, on those sides.
I'm assuming that sound barrier is better with a fence instead of shrubbery.
I don't know, but I'm going to assume that for light, especially like for headlights, it would be much better. Shrubbery that doesn't have leaves on it, 3 months out of the year, 4 months out. If it's the desire of the commission to require both, I don't care. Put the shrubs on the gas station side of the fence.
I have no desire either way. I was just wondering if there was a shrubbery or two. Question number 3 was failure of the company. Be standard protocol, sell to whatever.
Divest it and go from there. You know, I mean, it's a corporate-owned store, so we're really doubtful that it's going to fail, but if things happen, Casey's would likely sell it off.
Do you have a rough idea, since Casey's is corporate, how many Casey's gas stations?
I think we're up to what, 2,300 now?
No, we've got almost 3,000.
2,800,
2,800.
28, 29?
We're just over 29.
No, in fact, they're buying them.
Can I say something?
Yes, ma'am. Come on up, state your name.
Hi, I'm
You're
Dawn.
part of the petition.
Hi, I'm Dawn. I'm going to be the district manager if this goes through in this area. I've been with the company for 8 years, and I take over, or I have like northern Indiana, and in our region, in the 8 years that I've been here, we have never shut down a store. As you said, we're buying stores, so the failure of it is unlikely.
Okay, those are the 3 questions we had. Board members, are you good? All right, Mr. Sweet, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Mr. Lotzenheiser, I've been rolling around with this question quite a bit. If a petition Thank you. If a petition meets all the requirements, they've checked every box, done everything according to our ordinances, what's the legality if we deny it?
A development plan by
I guess,
by definition and by, approved by Indiana court system, case law, is required to be approved if it meets all requirements of the zoning ordinance.
so if a petition meets all the requirements and we deny it, then it can be overturned in a court of law and we would be in violation of our duty,
That is correct.
thus illegal.
That is, yeah.
Okay.
I think in this case, board members, you did not receive ahead of time what was presented in regards to this signal solution. I do believe that the board would need to consider a condition of approval, that the traffic study would receive approval from NDOT, and then we would receive verification from that.
So the condition would
Prior
be,
to issuing a permit for the project.
so it would be, if we were making a motion to approve, you would add a condition that it would be based on NDOT approval first.
Correct, yes.
Board members, now's our time to discuss this with each other. I feel that this project has gone above and beyond what I expected. It is also zoned for this very purpose.
I think the one thing to note, the ordinance requires a visual buffer. Doesn't require multiple things. So in the clarification, what we can require somebody to do is a minimum 6-foot tall screen of some sort between this B3 zoning and the residential zoning properties.
If I heard correctly, they're going to an 8-foot screen and a masonry dumpster enclosure and soundproofing on the roof of the machinery.
Yeah, a visual buffer on the roof, correct? That's, yeah.
Then I assume we'll be getting like an updated, digital copy with what we've seen tonight, because some of that was new to us, so for the record, that'll be updated.
Yeah, that we would receive that drawing or whatever is updated.
We'll get you an updated set of drawings.
Does that need to be part of the motion?
That is part of the, yeah, I think that would be part of the condition that the plans are updated with NDOT's approval and we receive the written notification that it's been approved.
Okay, and so would that mean that and I understand what Jared was saying, that, NDOT dictates this, but that would mean that, would that make if we put that in the motion, would that make it so that it would have to be the traffic light, or if it was some other traffic?
I think that any option that NDOT would approve, we would be approving. So I think Mr. Sweet dictated that there were two options.
Correct.
One would require expanding or widening the bridge that they just replaced not that long ago,
Yeah, surely everybody in Ossian's tired of bridge work there.
possibly.
Slightly.
And so this was the alternate, but either one of the options would be compliant.
The signal is actually the preferred option.
Okay,
Instead of changing the lanes and all the median work and everything else, this is the preferred option, given the replacement that they just went through and the type of traffic that they have on the roadway now.
Mr. Brooks, could you review what that motion would look like?
Yes, sir. It would be approval of the motion as presented this evening with the condition of based on NDOT approval with updated plans as well. We inspect it. Or it can be reported
it's an ordinance violation.
as an ordinance violation, and it will be inspected, and they will appear at a meeting, and we'll get to the bottom of it.
And that would be true for the hours of operation, since they said they would not be open 24 hours.
We're not a jurisdiction that requires hours of operation, so it's not something that we,
That would not be a violation.
So it doesn't matter that they said they wouldn't be, they can still do that.
Not in our jurisdiction. Board members, if there's no further discussion, I would entertain a motion.
Mr. Chairman, I would move to approve the design as presented with the condition that excuse me, that all of the updated plans are submitted to the Plan Commission office and that the application to NDOT be filed and accepted and proof of that filing and their requirements also provided to the Plan Commission.
Okay, we have a motion on the board with Mr. Hahn to approve as presented based on NDOT approval with updated plans presented to the Plan Commission. Do we have a second? Mr. Haran is seconded. We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion before the vote? All in favor, right hand. Opposed, same sign.
all right, so following meeting, there is a 30-day appeal period. I'm assuming we'll work through the condition compliance, and look forward to hearing more information as you go through that process. Thank you.
Thank you all very much.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Somebody makes a motion to get a mic in front of him. I know we're trying to add more mics. We're waiting on,
Yeah.
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 but can he grab a mic? Because what he has to say is important, and I think everybody out there needs to hear it.
Yep.
Sorry.
Oh, you're good.
I'll try to do better next.
You are forgiven, my son. Okay, in your packets, we do have 3 new items this evening. And so we'll get to the new items now. There are no other old items, correct?
That is correct.
Okay, the first item is A2511-21, Lancaster Township, the Southwest Quarter 22-27 North 12 East. Helping Hands Crisis Pregnancy Center Incorporated requests a proposed 135.5 by 88-foot commercial building and parking lot. The property is located in Commerce Drive, Bluffton, Indiana 46714, and is currently zoned B3. Do we have a representative? What did you say? You cleared the room, sir.
They all went north.
Just go ahead and state your name and let us know a little bit about what's going on.
Calvin Timms with Engineering Resources. So the site is a make-ready site for the building. It's just going to be one new building with some new parking. The utilities are going to be tapped into. They're going right along the road there. The stormwater is regional detention, so there's going to be, we're rerouting an existing storm line around the building, and we're going to be running that through. The owner is working with Lowe's, who owns the property just to the south of them, to use that land to reroute that storm line.
So is the stormwater asset, is it private?
It's a public storm line.
Okay, you found that out?
Yes, sir.
So it's public.
The city signed off on it.
Oh, okay. On both things?
I believe so.
So the concrete washout as well?
I believe so.
Okay.
So if for whatever reason you can't get Lowe's agreement, is there provisions, could it go on could there be a little bit of change to make it go on the property?
Yes, we could shift the building to the north a little bit. It just makes the parking a little bit tighter on the north side, but we could shift things around to get it up there. But as far as I'm aware, there's been no wrenches that have been thrown in by Lowe's. They've been pretty compliant so far.
You're just dealing with large.
Yep. Yep. And I believe that, just for reference, the storm line will be on Helping Hands property, but it's just working through Lowe's to get permission to change some of the earthwork on their side.
Okay.
It's more of a construction.
Yes, yep.
And then I assume when that was all platted, there were drainage easements and everything. Will that, the new location, will it then be new recorded easement for that for the city?
I don't know if we showed one, but if not, we can update the plan to get one.
You want to make sure that that's, is with the city,
Okay.
or an easement to the city.
Yep.
If it's their facility.
Mike, would we need a condition potentially added for Lowe's approval?
I mean, I think we would need something for establishing the easement where needed, and I think we would want to receive some, whatever notification that you receive in regards to Lowe's.
I don't know that we can't give somebody permission to go on private property to do work.
Yeah,
If push
We don't care about that,
It's
yep,
kind of a non-issue.
yep,
That's-
correct, yep.
We would want to make sure that the city then has easement to be able to work with them in its new location. It's really not of our concern, I guess.
So we wouldn't need you're thinking we wouldn't need a
I mean,
Lowe's
it's good to be
condition,
in the loop that, you know, hey, they've approved this but I don't know that it would need to be.
a condition.
We're not giving them permission to run somebody else's.
That's fine.
That's an issue between those owners and
Okay,
the owners of Lowe's.
noted for sure.
One of the items, unless if there was something done after the fact, the plat for that area does not include an easement for that sewer line, or for that storm line. Yeah. The way that it runs does not run through one of the easements. There are easements for sewer or water, whatever runs on the south side of Commerce Drive.
Have easement for at least part of that.
Yeah, yep.
But just as a note, that was not something that was included in the plat, so unless if there was something done separate from that wasn't on the plat.
Once again, hard to force somebody else to. do
Yep,
something.
correct.
Wherever the new location is on Helping Hands property, needs to be easement for that public drain.
Okay.
If Lowe's is willing to, voluntary, if you guys can work through that, that would be wonderful. But if not, we can't force you to, or we can't force Lowe's to grant an easement for something.
Would there be a preference on how wide you'd want that easement?
Whatever standard city.
20 feet.
20 foot?
Yep. Unless if it is overly deep, do you know
It's pretty shallow.
okay, then that would be consistent.
So really no conditions.
I think in regards to getting the easement.
Yeah, so establishing an easement as needed. Yeah, so, okay, that's one condition. Okay. Board members, any other questions? Okay, well, thank you. Have a seat and we'll get public comment if there is any. You already cleared out most of the room. Now be the time for public comment on this petition. Crickets. Okay, last chance. All right, public section comment is now closed. Board members, now's the time for discussion and proposals. Motions would be a better word.
I make a motion for a
No,
pass.
if
Oh.
you say emotion, you're not.
Well, yeah, that was your idea, Mr. Elwell. I mean,
I would propose that I make a motion to do pass recommendation for the development plan, approve.
you would need to make a condition for the establishment of easement as needed,
Yeah, with the condition of an easement establishment,
as needed.
notification from the city.
Okay. We have a motion to approve the petition as presented with the condition of establishing easement as needed. Do we have a second? You got beat, Tim. We have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion before the vote? All in favor, right hand. Opposed, same sign.
So at this point, there is a 30-day appeal period, since nobody was here for the public hearing part, that's very unlikely. So there's an option to pull the permit within the 30 days, if that is the desire. There is a document that we just asked the landowner to come in and sign. Otherwise, we're ready to go. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Item number 2 of 3 and the new items is A251122 Harrison Township, the southeast quarter of 526 North 12 East. Is that Shawver? Shawver, oh, okay, thank you. Shawver LLC requests approval for proposed 20,000 square foot building and parking lot Property is located at 812 South Bond Street, Bluffton, Indiana, 46714. It is currently zoned I-1. I take it you're our representative. Come up, state your name, and tell us a little bit about what's going on.
Good evening. My name is Bob Gaffer. I'm with MLS Engineering. Our address is 10060 Bent Creek Boulevard, Fort Wayne, Indiana. It's a 20,000 square foot building to be a locomotive shop. Mr. Shawver owns the railroad on the north side, not the railroad on the southeast side, but the one on the north side. So the plans are to extend tracks from there, pull a locomotive into the building. The building's placed so that they may get one locomotive on the east side of the building and still have the second one connected, but it's not going straight through or around. It's pull it in and then back it back up to the tracks, send it off from there. At this point in time, there's no plans for an office or anything there. So no water and sanitary. There's water in the middle of the site, and they are working quite extensively with both the water and sanitary department for when that day comes that we're back here asking to put an office on. He knows where to add that to. We've worked with the surveyor's office and planning departments as well on all this. So detention is being taken care of because there has been noted flooding problems on this site back when it was it a gas, a low pressure gas type of, yeah, so. But then detention is also being taken care of. So the detention will go across the railroad tracks. Worked with the county surveyor on how this detention is done. If you see the pond is in that southeast side or south side of but the pipe all the way up to the north side will also be part of the detention. So it's not your ordinary pond. That everything from I forget what structure the number that is, 702, I believe, to the south will be detaining water. We're working to restrict outlet flow rates to not push flooding downstream, but to hold it on site in approved areas such as the detention pond. So our numbers say that we're helping any flooding that's going there now. It's a locomotive shop with 1 to 2 employees and a gravel site. So with that, I'm done and I'm here for your questions.
On sizing of the pond, when we have discussions, there have been some history of water troubles back there. We asked if it could be oversized at all, and I think you guys have put some oversized in that pond. Forgive me, I don't see what percentage that is. Do you have that handy?
We need, in the drainage report, we needed 0.89 acre feet of storage. The top of bank of that pond is 1.79, so it's just shy of a double. And I wasn't sure if I had sent that email or not. I'm like, I better print this out and brought it. I can send that out type of, and there is a spillway that should you get more than the 100-year storm, the spillway's directing runoff to the wetlands and not to the north. We couldn't think of a better place to put excess water than in the wetlands, which would be into the wooded area to the south. There has been a wetland report done on this as well.
Jared?
Hang on, I just misspoke. I said 0.89 and it's 0.98, so it's 80% too big, not double. 82, so just a little, I just want to be clear on that. Looking at my here,
I remember that we had the discussion.
Yep.
I couldn't remember the percentage.
Jared, when you typically request for a retention to be a little bit larger, and you've done that in the past, I assume. What percentages do you normally receive back?
It varies, and a lot of it depends on, how much dirt they need for their project and all that. There's times that it's very easy to double the size. If we do a two-stage ditch, we have a requirement that's 1.5 times what would normally be required. It varies.
Are you happy with 82?
Yeah, I mean, that's much, it exceeds the requirement of what they have to do under our plan.
Okay.
We asked, they were willing to
Nice.
do that.
Okay. I didn't know if like that was like you were hoping for a certain number.
Anything is a help.
Okay.
So, yeah.
So 82 is pretty good.
So the tile that they're draining into is kind of the extreme upper end of the drainage system in town.
Oh, okay.
So anything that they do additional on that end keeps the water, it has a place for the water to stand before it has to go through the system, basically where the outgoes steam. So,
Okay. Nice.
so if it's 10%, we'll take it.
Okay.
25%, even better. If it's 80%, better yet.
Okay. Board members, any further questions for Bob? Okay, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
And I'd like to open it up to public comment if needed. Come on up and state your name.
Ken Miller.
Hi, Ken.
I was just looking at the map there, where, the drainage is so poor on that end of town.
Mm-hmm.
And where is this retention pond gonna drain to? I mean, what have they got it? There's a drain there at Jefferson Street that takes some water until it gets full, and then it quits. You gotta wait about 6 days for everything to open up, and then it'll start taking water. But, is that where they're draining this retention pond, or?
I just drew a line.
Ken, if you direct your attention to the screen, Mr. Lotzheiser will show you the answer to where it's
Okay.
draining to.
Yeah, so the site plan shows new storm line running under the Western Railroad and then hooking into the
Oh, it's gonna be a
existing
new
storm.
line?
A new
And
line,
then
sir.
hooking into the existing storm system heading north.
New under the railroad.
New under the railroad, yeah.
I think what's currently there is only 8 inch, maybe.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's, we owned like about 2.5 acres there, and then Nick Cup owns the old body shop. Well, we have flooded about every 4 or 5 years. There's been some improvement there, but it all goes to this drain right behind the canning factory. I guess if they brought something new in that actually drained, I mean, it's, there's just, you can see by the pictures, it's, in 15, we flooded too, and, we pumped water for 4 or 5 days, and you seen it, you stopped in that one night when we was pumping in the middle of the night.
Can I say something also?
In a moment, yeah, we'll take turns. Well, yeah, well, that's okay. You'll have your chance.
But I just, it's not so bad, this retention pond, as long as it's got somewhere to go. But if it just sits there and flood, because I seen on the map, I mean, it's right up to our property, quite a bit of it's right up to the edge. Well, as long as it's draining, but if it isn't draining,
We'll have Mr. Hahn address that after in a bit here. After he steps down, we'll.
There's gonna have to be some major changes here, or I can't see how we're, the owner back there, that one day, I seen him haul in at least 30 triaxle dump truck loads of stone in that area right there in the back. Well, you know, you're raising everything up, you know, and that was 2 months ago. You know, so they put in a drain. Habig's dug a drain there, but they put it right into the same drain that's draining everything else that takes water for quite a while, but,
Don't forget
you know.
about all the stuff that's been filled in at the wetlands too. They filled that in back there too.
Yeah, so, you know.
All right, we will
You
definitely
know.
find out if
Yeah,
it's,
I
if
was
it's
gonna
new,
say, I have
if it's
some real
flowing.
concerns here
Yep, we'll
because-
find out if we'll find out, sir.
Okay.
My name's Pat Boyd, and I rented off of Kenny and Louise there for 13 years. I was there during this flood, last one, pretty bad. 15, wasn't it?
15.
Yeah. So, Kenny and I had pumped water, for, I think, 4 or 5 days straight. I mean, we shut the pump off for a couple hours, lay down for a couple hours, and the yard was filled up. Now, having said that, the ethanol plant was shoving water into the woods, and if you're familiar with that area, it has 4 or 5 ponds back there. I don't know if they filled them in or not. But between that and the rain, Kenny had to hire John Brickley to come in and put actually a tile in after we was all doing all this from the buy shop out to the road. Luckily, the city let us borrow their massive pump to keep up with this. I mean, we was using 2-inch pumps, and he just asked me to come down because I was part of that. I know Mike and Jared are diligent about drainage, but I just want to put my 2 cents in there that this was a major problem, and if it doesn't get addressed between this, I guess taking into consideration with the ethanol plant behind that, to the southwest, if you want to call it, and what they're doing now, I mean, I guess the drainage is a big concern. We actually had to end up getting some dirt above the property line there just to kind of stop this from flowing into the yard. There wasn't a dry spot in that place till you got to the front of the body shop, so. I just want to tell you my experience. I lived in the house. We had almost 3 feet of water in the basement. We just couldn't keep up there either. I mean, it was just coming in quicker than we could pump it, so. I would say that, and I know, like I said, Jared and Mike's gonna be meticulous on trying to get that done, but those are genuine concerns for him as a property owner of that. You know, they have people that live there now, and it's just been it was a disaster. I took off work actually 5 days to help get it cleaned up, so, but that's really all I had to say. I can verify the flood, and I know that, you know, Tim Simpson was another one involved in that, so, but anyway, so that's really all I got to say.
Thank you, Pat.
Yep, thank you.
Anybody else?
This manhole on Jefferson Street there, it doesn't look like a city manhole. I don't know who owns it. It's broke on the one side, and there's like some metal stuff down in there to keep it from falling in. Well, that's draining this whole area, and then if they're gonna add more, I mean, they, you know, the city, I guess if the city owns it, they need to, you know, tear the thing clear down and rebuild it, because, I mean, parts of it's fallen in. It's right behind the canning factory, the old canning factory there. And, I mean, if you look down in there, it's in pretty bad shape, so.
Have you reported that to the city, Ken?
I asked the one guy, the engineer for the city there, and he said he didn't know.
We haven't,
Yeah.
the city hasn't had a guy engineer.
Yeah, we haven't had
Well-
a guy. I'll be happy to follow up with Tim Simpson on that and
Yeah, he
figure
said he
out.
didn't know if the city owned it or who owned it. I mean, it is taking,
No, we
it
haven't had
is
guys
taking
here for a long
water,
time.
but it doesn't look like a city manhole. So if we're gonna dump more water into it, I mean, you know, there probably needs to be something done.
Is your contact info in here somewhere? So I can reach out to you if we need to identify that or find that?
Yeah, 4141. Had that phone number for 50 years, so,
824?
Yeah.
4141? Okay.
yeah. Like I say, it's right beside the railroad track. You know, and as far as I know, that's, you know, unless there's something hooked up, I thought they'd probably put in a retention pond and drain it to a creek or something the other way instead of
Sure.
this one manhole and it'll get full and stop if you get a real heavy rain. Takes rain for a while, but then it stops when, you know,
I know there's some issues on that.
Oh, yeah.
down.
Oh,
There
yeah.
has been for a while.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Anybody else? Okay, public comment for this petition is closed. Jared, I think you would be, or would you want to come back up to address those as well?
Had a couple of them, yeah, that we can.
Yeah.
I guess I would make just a general statement of how a detention pond works. So a detention pond is basically controlled flooding. You dig an area out, you make the water run to it, and by design, that area is supposed to flood. And it may hold water for a day or two until it can get through the system. That's by design how it's supposed to work. So if that pond has water standing in it for a couple days, that's how it's supposed to work. We'd rather have it standing in a pond instead of standing in somebody's yard or their house. So, I mean, that's kind of the design. As I said, all of the drainage system for that entire end of town, this is all at the very upper end of it. So, if you're familiar with where First Church of Christ is, that's at the upper end of this whole system as well. When they added on, we asked them to put their detention pond going south. They ran a new tile and took things out of the system to try to make that better. I remember when I started in office, Spring Street and Hoosier Highway flooded pretty regularly.
All the time.
All the time.
All the time.
And since they took all that water out of that system, that has made a heck of an improvement on that. It's a small piece. Them doing a detention pond and oversizing it, it's a small piece. It's going to help. I don't know that anybody can say it's gonna help by this much. It's not necessarily measurable. It's, in the whole system of things, it's a small piece of it. But when I saw the original plan, I knew the area. I've been out there. I've worked with the railroad to get the ditch cleaned out along the railroad, which is not exactly easy. We got it done. I knew the area, and I said, it would be really nice if you could oversize your detention pond because there have been problems out there, and they agreed to do that. So I think they've done about as much as they can in that regard. They're planning on replacing the tile under the railroad. You know, any tile, old tile that's clay under a railroad is questionable. And I think they're doing as much as they can. Pretty tough to expect them to go all the way to the river with a tile. So that's why they put in detention, is to make up for that so that it can store the water until it has a chance to go through the system.
So there's no detention pond there whatsoever now?
There's no detention ponds on that whole end of town.
And then almost doubling it, that should.
Help more than hurt, right?
It's gonna help. You can't measure how much it's gonna help. You can't,
Okay, so is there gonna be an increase in impermeable surface or a decrease?
An increase, yeah.
There will be an increase in impervious surface, but our release rate will be per Wells County standards, the .87 CFS per acre, which is a runoff rate lower than what is, not necessarily lower, I didn't do existing, I did an allowable release per acre. More to Jared's point, we're developing 4 acres of this entire site. We're leaving the whole wooded wetland areas alone. So you're talking about 4 acres in a watershed that could be 2, 3, 500. We don't know that. So to give that number, how much it'll help, like Jared said, it'll help. And a number, unless you do a 6-month-long study to find that out, we won't have a number on that one. Also, and lastly, there is a structure just to the north side of the railroad tracks where our new storm line is going in. That storm line's going in for one primary, we're putting an 8-inch back in because elevations didn't work. So we need to lower that elevation on the north side. So that way our pond would not, the right elevations would work. So we're replacing the structure on the north side of the railroad tracks. In the structure, I've got pictures of it on my computer. It's just a pipe that someone turned up north. It's not really a manhole. And then we followed that up to, and we did dye testing. We put blue dye in the inlet on our site and saw that blue dye flowing lifted the cover in Jefferson Street. So it does get there. That cover in Jefferson Street is a 12-inch. So somewhere between the railroad tracks and the intersection of Jefferson Street and I forget the other north-south street.
Doherty.
Yes, thank you. Somewhere between there, our 8-inch line suddenly becomes a 12-inch line, and we don't know where because that clay tile put in 1912, whatever, however many years ago, somebody said, well, let's start using bigger now, and it's that city. I don't know where that change was made. But everything we're touching is a new 8-inch line to a different elevation that's still lower, so that way our pond works.
So without development, nothing's better. With development, it'll be better, but we don't know how much.
Yeah.
We don't know, it'll be better, but we don't know by how much. So it will be a positive move in the right direction.
If nothing happens, it's the same way it's been forever.
But this will slow the water, catch the water, release it in a timely manner to make the situation better.
So maybe, I guess I'll try to explain it a little differently. The tile sizing that you mentioned going from the pond is going to be part of the detention. So their downspouts off the building go into the tile. That water may be able to flow, if there's very little rain, it would flow straight north, go into the tile and go out. If things are backed up, it's going to flow the other way and go into the pond. That once the tile gets full going to the north, that's when the pond starts filling up. Is that?
I don't know, if you remember when you and I had talked 6 weeks or whenever that was, before it leaves the site, I've got a weir in here, so it backs up no matter what. So I'm doing detention even in the low storms.
But essentially the water can run to the pond.
It'll run, and then grading naturally, yeah, from north of the building, it'll back up from that structure. From south of the building, it'll run to the pond.
Do you know, okay, so where that weir is at, do you know how many acre feet that will hold up to the weir?
The whole system itself is 0.89, 0.98. But that's the whole site. Not just from the whole, where did I put my numbers? Because I always, acre feet was 0.89. For the 4-acre site was 0.98. Sorry, I did it wrong again. 0.98 acre feet.
Okay, that's the number you already said, I'm sorry.
Yes. Is how much is the volume of storage for this 4 or 4.5 acre site? I forget how much that was.
I didn't want somebody to think that, oh, they're hooking the downspouts direct into the tile. They're not running tile to the pond and then turning around and coming back. It's all going to be in the same pipe.
Yeah.
Water will just be able to go either direction depending on the conditions. it will either go out the tile, out through the weir,
Right.
over the weir, or it will go to the pond, just depending on what the outlet tile is capable of taking.
And if a neighbor's pumping off some, I can't control any of that, or the owner can't control it. Someone back here might have mentioned that. Their neighbors were pumping, I can't do any calculations on, hey, I'm getting water by pumping it over here or over that. That seems like, yeah.
Like I say, over the years, thankfully I got to know one of the drainage guys from the South Railroad. There was railroad ties and junk along that ditch along that railroad. It was causing problems. We got them to clean it out just by asking nicely. That's the only way you get anything done with the railroad is you ask nicely, and if they agree to it, they'll do it for you.
You're not gonna make them, are you?
You're not gonna make them do it, that's right. Like I say, First Church of Christ, when they developed and added on, we asked them to take everything out of there that they could. All of those things have made a difference. The pictures that he presented, I think, were dated 89 and 90. So, I mean, have there been floods since then? Yes, because I've remembered some of them since I've been in office since 2005. So there have been other events since then. Has it become incrementally better over the years? I think it has. And there's some other work that's going on the tile. They're up by Almco, that's the main outlet for this. That we've actually discovered some problems in it. So that work is ongoing.
Well, the OMCO development will help this situation at the end of the day, right?
So they're actually putting in a much larger detention pond.
Right.
That helps that system. If you look at that whole end of town.
Yeah,
There's a lot of hard surface.
Yeah.
And absolutely zero detention.
Right.
I mean, all of that stuff was built before there was detention requirements.
And a couple streets that don't have any drains, right?
Yeah.
And water just pools. Yeah.
So you're saying we're getting there?
It's really hard to put detention in a already developed
Yep.
municipality. That is, where do you put it? And where do you put a pond big enough to make a
Real
measurable
difference, yeah.
If you don't want Roush Park anymore, you could put a big pond there. People like Roush Park.
Brandy might have a problem with that.
Exactly. I mean, it would take a pond that size to make a,
Real,
measurable difference.
Okay.
Now, when, I think when there was add-on where the tomato factory was.
Yeah, yep, there's
They-
detention, yep, there's detention on the west side.
There's other things out there that have newly developed that there's detention that has been done. But there's just a whole lot of that part of town that doesn't happen. I appreciate when developers are willing to go above and beyond just because we ask. I appreciate it.
Got a number of those this evening. I think we're good. Board members, any further discussion on this petition?
I just have one question for you. So, an acre puts 1 foot of water on, sitting on top of an acre. Okay? So,
Basically 43,560 cubic feet.
okay, so this, would you say that primarily the water headed towards Miller's is coming from this lot anyways?
So part of it's coming off Miller's lot. They've got some buildings, hard surface there, coming off of there. When they did propane on this site, there was quite a bit of parking lot that shedded that way. It was just kind of a low, it's just kind of a low area is right there along the tracks.
How much of an influence is the ethanol plant?
So the old clay tile pits, what they're calling the wetlands now, when and that has changed a little bit as well. When the ethanol plant built, the rail spur in there, they had kind of bermed up along that. And since then, they've removed a little bit of that berm. And so it lets that spill over quicker into their ditch and go into their detention area. So that has helped some as well. The ethanol plant isn't pushing water towards this property. It was holding it back.
Understand, okay.
Well, so I looked at those pictures that, went around, and it looked to me like there's a foot and a half or two of water on his, about an acre. And if we're gonna hold that much water back, it would otherwise maybe be shedding towards it. This is wonderful.
It's a start.
Yeah. What more could a guy ask for than to get a little bit of water off his place?
And then the whole property will be gravel?
It is, yeah.
A lot of that property was already gravel.
Does water trickle through gravel, or does it shed?
Both.
Like,
At a rate that's a little bit,
I can give you the engineer can give you the engineering answer.
Yeah.
And I'll give you my opinion. So, once gravel is compacted, it has almost the same runoff coefficient as pavement or anything else. Now, in engineering calculations, there is a slight difference in the runoff coefficient for gravel parking lot versus asphalt parking lot versus cement parking lot. They're all very different. They're all slightly different. But once it's all compacted and everything, to me, the runoff is essentially the same.
okay.
I think when you're looking at the aerial photo, what you see is grass.
Right.
Is not actually grass. It is
Yeah.
grass growing through where they haven't drove.
So we have compacted gravel. Now we have a retention pond to take care of the compacted gravel at an 82% increase. Okay. In my naive eyeballs, that seems better.
Yes. Once again, we can't.
Something,
This much.
something
this
is,
much,
something
this
is
much.
better than nothing.
Yes.
Can I say something here? When Pat was talking about that, or not,
Yeah, Ken, I apologize, brother, but we've kind of closed the public comment. We're not mad. It's just kind of an order of events that we have to do.
three, at the ethanol plant, there was three gasoline-powered pumps pumping water. And we're trying to pump out here, and they're pumping it into the swampy area with the pond that's there that was dug out for clay in 1900,
Well,
that's still there.
Mr. Ken, that would be during the construction process. They're no longer constructing, so I think that would not happen in a future date.
This was in 2015, ethanol plant, but they had three pumps running.
Okay,
And,
noted.
trying to keep themselves from drowning.
Right.
Back there, and they was drowning us. And we pumped for 4 or 5 days, night and day almost. You know,
Thank you.
I mean, this is not my wheelhouse, but everything I'm hearing from engineering and our county surveyor says this is going to improve the drainage scenario. Not to say how much, can't predict how much, but somewhat, like it's gonna be somewhere in the positive, right?
Well, I mean, they designed this to a 100-year storm event. Say that's 6.5 inches of rain. What happens when you get 7 inches? You know, you can't design for everything.
I get that. I mean, there's,
Do I think it's gonna hurt anything? No. Do I think it's gonna help? Yes. Can't say how much.
I like it. I think something's better than nothing. I think it's needed, and I think that it's an upgrade.
Well, and something to note, there was no obvious tile outlet on this property before. So this would be the first, clean installed tile outlet.
On 4 acres.
that crosses the tracks directly and goes to, so however it got off the site before wasn't picked up on anything really.
Sludging off.
So that part, just having it under the tracks is something, whether there was something there.
I mean, that tile was probably installed when that was the Crick Tyndall Tile Factory.
Yeah.
back in the day.
Right. And Rick, you're gonna,
A few years ago.
you're gonna check on that.
Yeah, I'm gonna,
That
I just
manhole.
want to say, yeah, I'm gonna follow up with our street superintendent, Tim Simpson. We'll look at that manhole and Tim's really good about getting you the history on something, and he knows who to ask if he doesn't know. And so we certainly, I'll give you a phone call here in the next.
I can show you where the tile runs in the property there.
Yeah.
To there.
Yeah.
And then they tapped into it there and put a manhole.
Okay.
And tapped into the same.
This will probably be next week, early next week, but I'll reach back out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Jared, can there be like, and I don't wanna speak for landowners or anything here, but, I mean, a lot of times there's agreements, you know, hey, can I get a tile? Like, I think my folks did that with farm, like, hey, can we get a couple tiles hooked into you and drain out that back portion? Do you think that tile would be low enough to get?
No idea.
It's already taking water from that side of the track, it's gotta be hard to get water between them two sets of tracks out. That tile's finally gonna have one underneath the tracks.
Like I say, most of, probably not most of that property, the southern third of that property probably should go to the south. Once it gets to the wetland area, that should drain to the south. Now, there was, like I say, there were some issues when the ethanol plant was built that had some water dammed up back there. And there were issues along the railroad where there's kind of a ditch along the railroad. It's their drainage ditch. You know, whenever they were changing ties out and different things, they just chucked them off on the side, and the crew that was changing ties probably wasn't the drainage crew, so they just chucked them out there, and that's where they laid. And that caused problems later on, so.
Well, I guess what I was maybe suggesting is a friendly agreement to tie in the adjacent property into that.
And as I said before, it's not really our purview to say that somebody has to do something on their own property in that regard. If they want to work together and do tile, something like that, that's between the two owners. I don't think that's our purview. If they want to work that together, that I have no issue with that, but that's really their issue.
Thank you, Jeff.
So is there any kind of conditions we need to add?
I don't believe so. I don't have any.
Well, with that, I would make a motion to approve as submitted.
We have a motion to approve as submitted. Do we have a second? We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor, right hand. Opposed, same sign.
All right, so 30-day appeal period. They wish to pull the permit within the 30-day period. The owner just needs to file a form with our office, and once we're ready to go.
We get a written of this response, like an email.
As far as an approval, we can send you something that states that it's been approved.
Right, just for me to forward to the owner.
Sure. Absolutely, yep.
Awesome, thank you.
Thank you all.
Item number 3 is A251123 Lancaster Township, Southwest Quarter 2727 North 12 East. Decatur Dental Service Incorporated requests approval of a proposed 4,148 square foot building and parking lot. Property is located at 1417 Baker Place, Bluffton, Indiana. 46714 is currently Zone B2. We have a representative coming forward now. Go ahead and state your name and tell us a little bit about what you want to do.
Sure. Michael Olinger of C3 Construction Services of Fort Wayne, representing Doctors Johnson at Bluffton Dental Clinic and Decatur Dental Services as the parent company. Our intentions are to build a new facility to replace the existing facility. That new facility would be substantially completed and equipped ready to make a quick changeover, then the existing facility would be demolished and continue with some site improvements for additional parking. There are plans for stormwater retention on this site that doesn't have any currently, and that's the scope of the project. I guess I can mention that the plans have been submitted to the state of Indiana, and we do have our construction design release from the state at this point.
Excellent. It's good news.
Always good news.
Yes, sir. State can be tricky. Is the original building just to the north there?
It's to the west.
It's about midway on the.
Where the overlay of the lot is, the building's there.
Yeah, where you're seeing the handicap
Yeah,
stalls.
yeah,
is
yeah.
where the-
I got you.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I see it on page 3. Thank you.
Essentially, you guys are doing the same thing that the property to the north did.
Essentially, we are doing the same thing as the property to the north, and uniquely, that was our project, and it's the same group of contractors and the same group of engineers. So we're very familiar with.
Not your first rodeo.
That corner of Bluffton.
I'm just curious, how large is the original building? Square footage?
I don't know that off the top of my head. I believe it's under 3,000 square feet.
Okay.
The parcel report for that says 2686.
Thank you. Well, that'll be a lot nicer building for him. And more parking.
The new construction will have 10 dental operatories. Portions would be hygiene, portions would be treatment. So it probably closely doubles the number of operatories they have now and allows for 2 dentists to be practicing at the same time. So it's built with growth in mind.
And it's the correct zoning, right, Mike?
Yes, it is. That is correct.
I know at Plat Committee, when we had the discussion, when the building to the north, when that was done, there was some concern over a tile that went through that property.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
But it was discovered during construction that that's not where it went. Is that correct?
Yeah, and then it went north,
drained to the
and drains through the street drainage system.
That was the adjacent property drained to the north.
That is correct. The one thing to note on this property does abut the residential zoning district, so they are showing a fence screen on the east property line that would be behind the building.
That'd be a 6.
That's correct. That's correct. Solid fence, correct.
It looks like the neighbors already have shrubbery, so we don't need to worry about. Board members, any further questions or anything to add before I open it up for public comment? Michael, thank you.
Okay.
Now would be the portion of public comment. If anybody'd like to speak to this petition, now's your chance. Hello.
Tony Terhune. I'm back again. I own the property to the north of this, where the new building will be.
Just due north?
Due north, the structure.
Yeah, yep, I
where-
see it.
Yeah, where the water issues are. So, just a couple questions.
We got you, Terry.
Tony, we still
Tony.
have, a lot of water issues going on with Sutton Circle. And again, this is another neighborhood that has no storm drains, no ditches. We rely all on surface drainage. And, unfortunately, the Baker Street, Sutton Circle intersection is the low point of this addition.
Driven through water there before.
The water is just getting deeper and deeper at the intersection. We can get a quarter of an inch of rain and we're driving through water at this intersection. The watershed from all the hard surface continues to run on the roads. We flood. Part of the issue we're still having is after they built the dental office to the north that is completed now, there was somewhat of a swale ditch that ran along Sutton Circle there. But when they put the temporary driveway in, they never took it out. They blocked the soil drainage. I've tried to work with Mr. Simpson on the street department about getting that swale cleaned out again to help the water issue to get to where the tile is that goes under the road. To no avail. He said that it's not a city issue, it's a property owner issue, and advised me that I need to seek counsel of a lawyer to clean out the ditch that's not on my property. So there's a lot of stuff going on out in Sutton Circle that's not being addressed by the city. And I think this is just gonna add to it. I know I talked to Mike and he said that there is a detention pond along the north edge of the property. But again, a bigger building, a bigger parking lot. Where's all the water gonna go? It's gonna flood the intersection again, so at some point, I'm not sure who's gonna address the issues, but it's not their responsibility. So, that's it.
Was that temporary driveway, was it?
So,
And I know it's on the property to the north that they're talking about.
Yes,
Was it at the eastern side of?
it was on the eastern property line between me and that property. They put a stone driveway in for the cement trucks, but then they never took it out. They just covered it with dirt, so now we have no swale ditch there.
So currently, prior to that, water from your property would drain to the north up to the street and then drain to the west.
It would run along Sutton Circle and then to the west. And then it drains north under Sutton Circle into the ditch on the family-centered services side of the street. And then it's supposed to go into a tile up that ran along up there, so.
Jared, could we circle up on this sometime and have a discussion about it? I'm on their Board of Works, and so I'd like to at least look into this.
I'd love for you to come out anytime.
Yeah, I'm making notes.
I would love to show you, you can stand and look at what's going on, and so.
I have seen water standing there before. I didn't know the background or the history.
It's getting worse.
Okay.
Thank you for your time.
Anybody else?
What was your first name?
Tony?
Tony, thank you.
I own 2 properties in Sutton Circle.
Gotcha.
You got it, Mr. Elwell?
I do, thank you.
All right, yep. Okay, with no other public comments, I'll close the public section of it. Board members, before we call Michael back up here. Do you have anything to add before we do?
I was just looking at the plans to see where their ponds drain, what they're draining into.
Michael, why don't you come on back up? Did we not, I remember approving the dental service to the north. Did we not require any retention or drainage there?
There is retention on the site.
There is both, yes.
There's retention on the site, and then there was a storm line installed on the south property line.
So on sheet C 4.1, so the two ponds will be connected together that they're doing, and then the outlet will then go up to basically up to Baker Drive.
Correct. Yeah, that's correct. The general concept for the storm drainage is the detention basins are located along the east property line and along the north property line. From there, it'll be fixed pipe, underground storm pipe from a manhole that goes to Baker Place. And within the easement, we connect into an existing manhole that then runs underneath Baker Place and Highway 1, as I recall.
Is there an existing manhole there?
Yes.
I wonder if that, Rick, you and I could go out there and look at it sometime. I wonder if, I assume that's where the water from that intersection is trying to get to. I'm trying to figure out why it's not getting there, I guess.
There's also a manhole that's on the west side of the new sidewalk on the east side of Main Street, on the north side of Sutton Circle. But it's not in a location that really accepts a lot of water.
It's higher than the road.
Yeah, so that is, for the intersection itself, that is the nearest thing, but it's not, it's higher than the intersection is. So it's really
Counterproductive
not
to drainage,
super
right?
helpful. Yeah,
Water runs uphill towards money.
it might. But that is, the other, where the outlet is where the existing NDOT culvert takes it under Main Street. It's interesting on the other side because it kind of disappears, ends up into the St. Joe Church, into a little wetlands area.
So it looks like Sutton Circle, I'm assuming it's drawn incorrectly on GIS. It looks like it has a decent sized right of way.
Yeah.
50 feet.
I believe it is 50 feet there.
I know typically in town, side ditches are not normal. Normally it's curb and gutter. This was older development.
Is that ditch in the easement, in the right of way?
Most of it, yeah, most of it, some of it.
You have to be field verified, but it kind of looks like it would be. So, like I say, that's not typical in city limits, the dealing with, side ditch swales. I know Ossian has struggled with that a lot over the years in various subdivisions. Nobody wants a side ditch in their front yards, they all fill
Right.
in.
Right. Well, let's have a conversation.
Yeah, I just don't like the fact that that property to the north, with the retention and everything it's supposed to have, isn't working.
I think it's working. I think what this gentleman's saying is it's blocked because of that driveway that may or may not have been removed. That's what's blocking the water on his property.
Okay.
Not that the detention pond isn't working or anything.
I think the detention ponds are working.
I see. So it's a
There's off-site water that's not.
slight dam situation.
That's what it sounds like.
Do we need to deal with that before we deal with this
Well,
upstream?
that project was somebody else's project, a different owner. I don't know that you can say that somebody else can't build because of what their neighbor did.
So that side ditch is on.
I think if it's I think it's in the side ditch and it's in the right of way, I think the city could very easily deal with
That's
that.
kind of what I'm hearing, so.
Yeah. Good call.
Yeah.
Whether it's an order to remove it or remove it themselves or however, I mean, I think that can be dealt with.
I think about the only thing really on this site is if there's water leaving the site at the driveway and going down Baker to the intersection, there might be an opportunity to try to catch that and get it.
It looks like it's going, there's a tile on their drawing, there's a tile shown going across State Road 1 before it ever gets to Henderson.
Yeah, correct, but the sheet flow on that is heading down the driveway
But that's what I wonder,
to Baker.
if that inlet needs something done to it so that it can take on water instead of trying to run it all the way down to the intersection. I mean, maybe there's something that can be done. It's within the street right away.
Jared, on C41, what is the weird cloud shape that's enclosing the east side of the property and part of the building?
Trees or if it's just a revision bubble that they.
Oh, a revision bubble?
Yeah.
Thank you.
There are a few, yeah, they're not really shown like that.
I would guess that was a revision at some point.
Okay. Just not familiar with that before. Mystic cloud. So on the, Michael, on the new site, sir. There won't be any earthenwork that would create more of a dam situation on Mr. Terhune property, like that'll just be level and it'll drop straight into the retention?
Correct.
So there'll be no change in elevation, so it'll be flat and then drop straight into your retention pond on the north side of the building?
That's correct.
I have a question, so, and if I'm off base here, just tell me, my wife does, so, so if there's a temporary gravel driveway for construction traffic, he's saying the last one didn't get removed. Will you remove this one so it doesn't cause a restriction in draining? Is that possible that that's a thing? This is not my wheelhouse, but as a logical science-based guy, most days, it certainly makes me like ask the question, right?
Sure. I think two things with that. On this project, we won't have that same condition because the construction of the facility is in the very east portion of the site. So our construction and the current traffic flow will have to come from the entrance off of Baker Place to the west. I don't, I'm happy to make this comment. I don't know how you factor it into everything, but as a principal with C3 Construction, who was responsible for that temporary drive and established it for our convenience, for construction purposes, I have to say I'm a little bit embarrassed that we didn't do what we were supposed to when that project was done. So in good faith, and as long as we can work with our former client, which shouldn't be a problem, I would commit to making sure that that's restored to its pre-construction condition from 2022, 2021-ish era.
I thank you for that. I think
That's just the right thing to do.
Thank you, Michael.
He is. That's okay.
Michael's your contact info in here then on this paperwork?
It should be.
Okay. Gotcha.
I would say both. We're not changing any of the portion of the existing parking area there on the west side of the site. That all basically remains intact. We're hard surfacing in place of the existing building for our additional parking requirements. So the addition, really probably the net additional hard surface is related to the building itself. And of course, that's where we've concentrated primarily our stormwater detention.
So if you look at that sheet 4.1, where they have the two rectangles, bold lines.
Yes.
I'm interpreting this correctly, that line through the middle is kind of the break line. Everything east of that line is gonna go to their ponds. Everything west of that line is gonna go out to Baker Place where it does curve.
I believe that's correct.
So where the
And-
existing building and the existing lot, but they're not changing, if that drains to Baker Place currently, it will still drain there, they're not changing. But everything from, just scaling it off, from about the middle of the building, maybe to the west or the eastern side of the building a little bit, all of that will go through the detention pond first. So where it will be new hard surface.
That's correct. And really today, 100% of that site, although it's pretty flat, but 100% of that site goes from east to west to Baker Place. So to be able to take half the site and detain water from it, we think will be an improvement. To that particular area, I can't comment on how it may or may not affect what's happening north and east of us at Sutton Circle.
Board members, anything else for Michael? Thank you. Are there any conditions that we need to be aware of on this one?
I don't have any.
Okay, board members, we'll entertain a motion or further discussion on this petition.
I just have one note, and it really goes out to
Tony.
Tony, thank you. I keep wanting to say Terry, I don't know.
No,
what
that was me. I implanted that in you, and
Maybe you look like
Tony
Terry, I
corrected
don't know.
me.
Before you leave, can I make sure that I get your phone number? Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Elwell. Okay.
I would move to approve the petition as presented. I do appreciate the willingness to work on a previous project site and see if you can rectify that. I would make that motion.
Okay, we have a motion to approve as presented. Do we have a second? We got a motion, a second. Any further discussion before we vote? It was Ninja's second. Okay, without hearing any, all in favor, right hand? Opposed, same sign.
So we have a 30-day appeal period. If you wish to pull the permit within the 30 days, the owner would need to fill out paperwork with us. Otherwise, we're ready to go. We can get it to you via email, yeah. Yep, okay.
All right, thank you. We are now into the other business category, so I think, Mr. Lotzenheiser, this is your area of expertise.
Okay. someone here from the Lewis West property? You want to come up, please? In regards to the junk accumulation violation, V 2024-014 at 633 South 600 West -90 Warren. Guess I'm being asked if you have an update and what's going on.
Yes, I'm trying to do the best I can to get it cleaned up. I've already tore the house down that was there and cleaned up most of the yard. But my thing is my son's the one that trashed the place up. And every time I try to tell him I need it all gone, we get into a big argument. And that's why I called you and asked you if you could take pictures of what needs to be gone, which I already know. So I can present it to him and say, look, this needs to be gone. He's got a different outlook on things than what I got. He thinks it's an improvement. It's not. And if I stay there and argue with him, I'm going to end up going to jail, and I don't need that.
Hey, in regards to the specific items that are in violation on the site, there's scrap metal, there's building materials, there's tires, there is the pontoon parts, pontoon boat parts.
Yeah, that's getting resurfaced and put back together.
Okay.
It's not parts any no longer, it's getting reassembled.
Okay. Those are the scrap metal, those are the primary items of concern out on the site. So any building materials that are stored outside, any scrap metal, any tires, any vehicles or boats that are not in operable.
The vehicles are gone.
Okay.
Both of them. There was two of them there that was inoperable. They're gone.
Okay.
And the truck that's there now, that's his. It runs. It drives.
It's got plates and the whole 9 yards.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
And most of the scrap metal that was laying around beside the garage and all that stuff, I had a dumpster out there to get rid of all that.
Okay. This happened recently?
2 months ago.
Okay. So we were out there and
Well, a month ago or something like that.
we took pictures a couple weeks ago. There was still some significant stuff that needed to be.
That's what I need to, what I was wanting.
So I'm looking at GIS.
Yeah.
There's two properties.
Yes,
I own
correct.
both.
You own both?
Yes, they're,
Do you live there on one of the properties?
Yeah.
You live there, okay. Son lives with you.
Unfortunately. I was doing him a favor and then this is what I get in return. Pretty much.
So one of the houses, apparently there was two houses.
Yeah, one's gone.
You tore one of those
Yeah.
down.
It was unlivable. It done went beyond. I done remodeled it twice and the last go around, I just said, it's gone.
That is the house that's in the aerial photo that's shown right in the intersection, or right at the corner. So now the structure, the garage structure, that is kind of the middle side of the east side of that, the parcel that's highlighted, and then the other house is the lot directly east.
Oh, I see it now.
The one in the corner is the one that's gone, yep. And that was gone before we had the violation complaint. That was not what the violation had to do with.
That's true. Yeah, it was, wasn't it?
Yeah, correct.
So you said the inoperable vehicles, they're gone.
Yep.
There's accumulation of tires. That is that,
Okay, you see right here?
Yep, yes.
That spot right there, it used to be just nothing but grass. Now he's got it all jumped up. And that's what I've been trying to get him to get rid of. And he thinks it's an improvement. This section of my house, this right here and all this stuff's gone. That whole section.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, all of that's gone. And then there was a vehicle sitting here and one sitting here and it's all gone.
Yeah. So most of the stuff that we saw was around the garage.
Yeah.
And then the
Then that's-
tires that are around
Yeah.
the, yeah.
In that big yard area right there.
Mm-hmm.
Is that like a go-kart track or something?
That's what it was, yeah. Well, it wouldn't actually, we made it into one.
Yeah.
Cause my grandson's he's 4 now, but he's got a go-kart and we let him ride it out there. And then my son come up with the bright idea of putting all that other junk out there. And I told him I didn't want it out there, but he went on ahead and did it anyway.
When you say junk, like, what did he put out there?
Well, it's got a circle of tires. It's got, a garden, sunflowers. He dug a big hole and put a fire pit down there and all kinds of stupid stuff.
Really, that's.
Yeah, we're worried about the tires.
So, I guess, I'm gonna ask the question.
Mm-hmm.
So like the tires, I assume that's to try to keep everybody in bounds, or if they have a wreck.
Yes.
Are they filled with dirt or something, or are they?
No.
So they can get water, mosquitoes? all
And
that?
yes, that's what I tried to tell him, and he won't listen.
Okay.
Apparently, he knows more than what I do. I know it's a breeding ground for mosquitoes.
Sure.
And being in the country, you're gonna have them, but you don't need to add to it.
Mm-hmm.
So, I guess I'm gonna ask from our perspective, if somebody were, the other stuff aside, if somebody built a go-kart track in their backyard for their kids or their grandkids or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
they put tires around it, had them full of dirt, and so that mosquitoes couldn't breed, is that a problem for us? I mean, I know they're tires.
Yeah, and so we've talked with the health department about this. There might be things that you could do to a tire to make it okay, but that's like cutting one of the walls out of it so it can't hold water. Those kind of things. I mean, there's a chance that would not be a problem. But there also is just the issue of storing tires out there that you have no intent of getting rid of ever.
Right, and that's why I say
Yeah.
there's other issues that need dealt with.
Yeah.
If that was the only issue and they were made to where they,
Correct.
I mean, I don't wanna rain on your grandkids' parade, so
You're fine.
I'm trying to, if the other stuff was dealt with and that could be
Mhm.
figured out, that's probably the least of our concern, I guess.
Is this zoning, is this an approved zoning area for a racetrack?
I don't know that you need to do that if you're running a go-kart around your yard. I don't think that's an issue.
I don't think that's a racetrack,
No.
So then,
that's kids being kids, and
so where I'm getting at is then, if it's not an actual racetrack, then the tires are an issue.
I
there
think
might be a way to figure that part out, if that was the only issue.
the figuring out is significant work to make the tires correct. It's not something that is light effort.
If we got just down to that, though, we can.
If he piled bales of straw instead of tires, would anybody care?
Makes sense.
No.
No, they wouldn't, because they don't really retain water for mosquito.
Yeah.
Right.
Health issue wise.
I say get rid of all of it. Honestly, I mean, that's what I'm here for. I need your guys' help to help me get rid of it.
Like we've talked on the phone, at the end of the day, if this doesn't get resolved and the board says that we're going to file action, it'll be on you.
I know it will.
Okay, and not on your tenant. So we want to, it's understanding this is,
The first letter I got, I went through the damn roof. You know, I mean, I know it's coming down on me.
Mike, the way this has been interpreted over the years is this is 100% cleanup. That's when you've.
Yeah, that's when we're done, yeah, correct.
It's not well, we're still working on these 6 boats.
Yeah.
These are cleaned up and everything on the property meets.
Yeah.
Then you're done, yes?
Yes.
No, that's good.
I just wanted to ask, this is the first time that this particular property's been brought before us?
Yes, as far as a violation, I'm not aware of the site being a violation site before. No, you're fine.
That property has improved some. I go by there often. So it has improved some. But I felt like the tires are a new addition.
Yeah.
They are new, yeah.
They're a new addition.
Yeah.
And before there was some other contraptions out there. So now there's the tires. And that's,
Yeah, I know. I come home and I notice it, and I'm like, what the heck is this? You know? See, I'm gone all week.
oh, yeah.
So, you know, I drive trucks, so I'm gone all week. And I'm only there on the weekend, or on Sunday and Monday. Well, not Sunday, I mean Monday, I work Mondays now, but that's beside the point, but I'm trying to get him to make improvements. I've even went out there and tried, you know, doing stuff, get rid of stuff when I had the dumpster out there, and it just caused an argument.
So I'm gonna ask this question. You said that you're asking us for help.
Mm-hmm.
What do you envision that help be from us?
Yeah, what would you like to see?
I would like to see everything gone, in that.
From us, what
would you, pictures saying this needs to be gone?
so a specific letter from the board with pictures saying, clean this up, or we're gonna turn it over to the court?
Yes. That's basically what I want. I'm trying, man.
Can I ask a quick question for the board? I know I've only been on here a couple months, but this letter, I don't know if it was the first letter, but it's dated November of 2024.
Yeah.
We're now in November 25, and we're still talking about making incremental improvements. What happened in the last year that we're now discussing further incremental improvements as opposed to it being resolved 6 months ago?
Not much has happened.
Well, the house is down.
That was not our violation. We
Okay,
didn't care
that
about
wasn't-
that. That was not there. The house was gone before we took our first picture, our first investigation of it.
No, the house wasn't an issue. It was me wanting to get rid of it.
There
because
may
it was
have
an
been,
eyesore.
in the violation, there may have been parts of the house, like window frames and stuff that were
Yes, yes.
still out on the property when we wrote the violation.
Yes.
But it had nothing to do with the house itself.
Mr. West, it sounds like your tenant is a slight issue, your son. Even if we write the letter and it cleans it all up, do you believe that's going to permanently correct your son's accumulation behavior?
Yes.
Do you believe that letter would work?
Well, it would have to.
Okay, so if we, in good faith, take some pictures and write a letter, how quickly can you clean it up?
As soon as I get a dumpster again,
Okay, you talking 30 days and done?
yeah, something like that, yeah.
30 days reasonable?
Well, no, 60 days. Is that reasonable enough?
You're coming into winter,
It's
so
been a year.
Yeah, right.
What's a couple
Has your son not seen this? Did you not show him this? Because we're looking at here at 30 days.
Yes.
$2,500 fine.
Yes.
Is that a letter you really want sent to you?
He said he talked to somebody that came out there and took pictures and everything was fine.
He never talked to me.
Huh?
Yeah, he
never
lied.
talked
He
to me.
lied to you. He never talked to Michael.
Yeah, I saw him on the site. We did
See, I
not
didn't
talk.
believe him
Yeah.
to begin with. And but the money
We're not
don't,
getting into family politics
Yeah.
here. Okay. Would we be sending a letter that looks any different than what's in the bottom
I
paragraph?
mean, there would just be pictures in it.
Okay, and with regards to the pictures, I'll just say this to the atmosphere of the room. It would be my guess that if you made this property, at least the things sitting on the ground that aren't the home, if you made this property look somewhat like your neighbors, this would probably all go away.
That's correct. There was 2 violations that were turned at the same time, this and a property directly east of this one. The property east of this one's already been cleaned up. So, this,
I think we need a hard line. I'm willing to, in good faith, I think it's a good, if you want pictures, you can have pictures. If you want a letter, you can have a letter. You're working on it, good for you. Good for you. You're in a hard spot. I think that we'll give you a 30-day, I would like to see board members, I'd like to see one 30-day extension.
Okay.
And then if that 30-day extension and nothing, you can't resolve it, we have to take our next step.
Okay. Fair enough.
Board members? Okay. I would like to see a 30-day extension with a letter with the specific pictures. And then after 30 days inspection, if no improvement, then we move it on to the attorney.
yeah, that is true.
Oh,
You're gonna get 60 days.
bonus. Bonus.
The solar ordinance, right?
Okay, so I'll amend what I said, and we'll go 60.
Okay.
60 and done, or we have to turn it over.
Okay.
We'll give you another shot, brother.
All right. I appreciate it.
We need a motion for that, Mike?
I'd like to so motion that.
Okay, we have a motion for 60-day continuance if no improvements made.
I'd like to, I just want to add that if we could make the letter very specific and mention
It will. It'll be specific, yeah.
the hammer, you know.
Yeah, Mr. Lutznizer will make it very specific so that you have the best tools possible.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
Yes, sir, we appreciate you working on it. So we thank you for that. So 60 days after inspection, if no improvement, turn it over to the attorney. We have a second?
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor, right hand. Opposed, same sign.
All right, thank you.
Yep. Me too. I'm tired of dealing with it.
Best of luck, Mr. West.
Thanks.
I've got the pictures I need.
Yeah.
We're good.
All right.
Next up is the attorney contract, the 2026 attorney contract. We're retaining the same contract, amount and terms as we had in 2025.
I think Mr. Sipe has stepped in the same way as Mr. Andrews, so
We have been working very well to get through several violations. We've also, and he's definitely been a huge asset in our recent meetings as well. Yeah, we would need a motion to approve the contract.
do we have a second?
Second.
Ooh. Ooh. He's a popular guy. We have a motion and a second.
They can have it. I don't need it. They can have it.
Any further discussion? All in favor, right hand. Opposed, same sign.
All right, Vision 2035 Comprehensive Plan update. So the city of Bluffton, over the last month, has started working on their vision principles process as far as the master plan goes. So there's 7 groups headed up by city council and department heads at the city side. Our office has played a role in a couple of them. I know several people from around the community have played a role in them. The processes are geared up for the most part to wrap up by Thanksgiving. or somewhere close to that. Yes, Thanksgiving-ish. We're doing, but there's a lot of good stuff coming out of it. The Plan Commission did assist in a public survey geared around riverfront and downtown improvements to try to help gain more public participation in that process. And so we're excited to see where that goes, and then once that part is complete, then we will start to prepare for the unveiling of the master plan and potential adoption. So with that, the other thing of note, so the city of Bluffton's doing this process to update their side. If Ossian, Pinedo, Uniondale, and Veracruz, if there's any tweaks or changes to the information that was drafted by Veritas Group, this is the time to get that to us as well. So if there's any questions, comments on that side, this is when we need to get all that stuff done. So that way, when Bluffton is complete with theirs, we'll amass the final draft of the document, and then start the process of getting it approved by all the jurisdictions. We did that kind of feedback by? We would expect that feedback to be back to us by early December. That way we could have everything, because once each one of the vision teams gets the stuff to us, then we're going to start to, format it into the adoptable design. And then that will take a week or two after we get everything back. So that will be consistent with that timeline. So if you've got anything, please let us know on that. That would be appreciated.
Who do you want us to contact?
Our office will be the point people between us and Veritas. So, on revitalization and trails update, so we were excited to have a meeting for the Pocobash Connector Trail. We had both federal and state elected officials represented and did a roundtable breakfast talking about the potential ways of teaming together to bring, to help us get design funding. So the first build grant application that we filed for this year was not approved, though we did get information from the federal government in regards to how it was reviewed. It was a positive reviewed application, but they received 800 applications and approved 30 some of them. So they, in many ways, felt like they nitpicked us in many other applications out because they had to. So they had to find stuff. One of the things that came into that discussion, while technically the application does not require a local match, they said that if we provided a local match, we would go up another bracket beyond that. So part of the roundtable pitch was to see if the state of Indiana would potentially look at doing a local match. So we're excited to see where things would go over the next year or two, to see what might happen out of that. Because the state did help push the South Monon trail system and with some funding over last year that we might be able to look at doing something like that. State Road 124 trail here in Bluffton, going east to the mobile home park from Main Street. The initial engineering study has been completed, is proposing that the trail be located on the north side of the road, seems to be most feasible. The engineering team believes that they can get it to meet the federal and state guidelines for the 10-foot lane separation through some fill being placed and some other items being done. So we did get some rough numbers to move the project to full engineering. So that'll be the next point of discussion on that. to see if we want to move forward with that, or if we're going to wait and try to find funding that will include the engineering and construction as in one fell swoop. So that is going on. In regards to downtown revitalization efforts, you have the Ossian Downtown Project that has made some significant moves here recently to get closer to go time. That's going to be something that will probably be coming in front of the Plan Commission in the near future. Small Business Saturday is a big event for our local businesses. It is one of the two biggest shopping days for a local business in the calendar year. So Small Business Saturday and then the week before Christmas. Those things are where a lot of businesses make or break it throughout the year. So very excited to see what we can accomplish here in downtown Bluffton, as well as the small businesses throughout the county. And during that time, the Chamber's got a big thing, Bluffton Now's got a big thing, and then also the Christmas events as well that help with that. Otherwise, we are looking to do the 2026 Community Reinvestment Program in downtown Bluffton. The funding has been verified for that, so we'll be sending stuff out to the landowners in downtown to see what projects might come up through that program. So excited to see that. Is there any questions in regards to those updates? Yes.
So one of the groups I'm on with the city, trails, kind of high level, is part of our focus. Can you get with Connor Jackson?
Yeah.
Give him a little more of the details on some of those specific ones of like where they're at.
Yeah, I can do that. So just to kind of give Connor a progress update. Yeah. Sure.
Compiling all the stuff, if you give him the details of like 124 out to.
Yep. Gotcha.
Is he in your group? Was he there today?
He was there virtually for a while. I think he had dad duty.
Yep, I will get that with him. I had a phone conversation with him about another part of that, but yeah, we'll get that done. Housing update, we did issue permits for both the senior housing and family townhome projects. So those projects will move towards construction here in Bluffton.
That's by the YMCA.
The one by the YMCA and then the one on the west side of town.
Yep.
Yeah. So both of those projects have moved into that piece. One of the things I did want to bring up just in advisory, some board members were here when we watched the short Strong Town Development Pattern video series. It's something that's really excited with the master plan thing is the city of Bluffton has started to look at adopting some of that in the master plan concept, which is really exciting to see, stuff that we started years ago, kind of coming back around and being interesting again. The other thing, and I think this is important, and actually, Jared, you kind of touched on this at Plat Committee today, is that to make a strong community, a thriving community versus a dying community, we need these things called third places. And so a first place is your house. It's where you live. It's the group of people you hang out with the most. It is your social area. The second place is where you go to work or where you go to school. And a third place is where you go to gather outside of that. So something else. So whether it's volunteerism opportunities like social clubs, things like that, churches, concerts, going to the brewery and talking to people there or whatever that you do, these social locations help make that a thriving community. One of the things that's kind of sad in Bluffton and Wells County as a whole is that here recently some of the long-standing social clubs have started to slowly wind down. And some have even closed here recently. So those things are hard because those are places where we get strength in community, where maybe a project that's a dream becomes a reality because a group decides to push for it to get it done. So part of this master plan process is the intent to try to revive that effort, that we want community to happen outside of just the easy places. And want people to have those connections, have buy-in, have passion about what they're interested in. Because we've got a lot of great ideas. The master plan is, really pointing to a lot of those things. But we need the energy, and the energy comes from people coalescing around them and helping to get things across the finish line. So excited to see where this goes, and, hopefully some other organizations will take the place of things that are falling to the wayside and start to grow those things again where it's important. So.
The mayor talked about that Saturday morning. Kiwanis, like they basically.
Yeah, they're no longer.
Is there still a Lions Club?
There is. Yep. So there's like 6 to 12 people there when you go to a meeting. There should be, and that's the thing. Years ago, that's who got things done.
When I was a kid,
Yeah.
I was told there was a Lions Park.
Yep.
Every
Playground,
small
ball
town,
diamond.
every small town had a Lions Club.
Mm-hmm.
And it was mostly men getting together, and then they.
Yeah.
But I mean, there was
Figured
a
out some-
playground just down the road from your brother's place.
Mm-hmm.
We went over there, drove remote control cars out on the baseball diamond. It's farm field now.
Yeah.
Extension offices, or extension homemakers clubs. They used to have one, and every township would have homemakers club, and those have died down. And they used to do a lot of good things for the community.
Yeah.
Did you mention the book?
No, I did not. But yeah, if you want to, yeah.
Yeah, so Tim Carney wrote a book called Alienated America. And basically the premise of the book, it just kind of looks at our modern culture and kind of the way we're formed up, and it looks at successful, thriving communities, and it looks like communities on decline. And there's some very distinct observations that he makes in the book about things that go into what happens, whether you thrive or whether you die or go in decline. Like Mike mentioned, the declining civic group population, the fact that we're not teaching our kids to volunteer and serve is a big problem. And communities that are thriving seem to still have those organizations, or some of those organizations, and have a lot of participation by community members in them. And so, yeah, I mean, I think, and he's slated to come here to speak.
Yes, yeah.
I don't know if the date's nailed down yet.
I've not heard the date yet, but he's slated to be a speaker at the speaker series that Bourbon MD has been helping to put together.
Yeah, and I think Scott is very passionate about working to develop things within the city itself that will make it a more vibrant community, and we're excited about that. The Riverfront Development, I'm on the committee with Mike for Riverfront Development. I mean, that's myself and Bree. That's our committee, and a lot of great ideas. You got to start someplace. So.
My little community in Uniondale has struggled with this decline in social activity within the town for decades. Even when I was a kid, we had so many more things going on than we do now. And yes, we've lost places to do it, but, Mike touched on this. It's the age of everybody at the Lions and the Kiwanis Club. Like, they're literally aging out of being able to do this. So it's almost like there was a generation that skipped doing it. And honestly, I think that my generation is actually kind of hungry for this, but doesn't know how to do it.
Yeah.
And even in church, I feel like this is the case, that we need to be taught. And maybe the generation above me and beyond's work's not done in that regard, and we may need to be taught how to do these sorts of things.
Well, and I was just gonna throw in, the guys that run Bourbon MD, they, on their own, I mean, they rented a bunch of fire pits on October 17th and said, hey, we're just gonna put a bunch of fire pits down at the plaza, and we're gonna put a dude on the stage playing a guitar and singing like old country songs, and why don't you just grab a beverage and come down and hang out? And I think almost 200 people did. And, we kind of got off of these, and we got into one another's face, and we had conversations, and we hung out, and I think it was really successful. And to your point, that was a very informal effort at community, right?
Yeah.
So you can't have civic organizations, you have to have community first. So you got to get enough people involved to go, hey, this is really cool, what else can we do with our community, right?
So Uniondale's been trying to learn this, and honestly, through this master plan, we tried to implement some small things. And from a civic aspect, and my wife and I just saw this in Fort Wayne. We thought that's a good idea. We should try it. We introduced a porch of the month where everybody can vote with their sewer bill, to try and make people get out and walk around and look at people's porches. And are they nice, or are they scary for Halloween? And then on a personal level, we have tried the last 3 years to have the coolest, most inviting Halloween, deal out in front of our shop, with coffee and such, to try and get that kind of, not really because Halloween's not really spontaneous, but to get that community. So we tried, from, like, say, civic, from a government perspective, to say the town now does this thing to try and get people out and involved with one another and discussing things. And then we tried to do that personally in our little town. And I think we've seen some benefit. It's been a really good start with Uniondale, and we lack places to do those things there. But we've seen benefit from it for sure.
And the closing comment I would make is, I think with any civic or volunteer organization, you're still gonna run into the 80-20 rule. Only about 20% of the people or whatever will actually get involved and do anything. The rest will sit back and watch. And if we get 20, we get 20. I don't know.
So what we talked about at Plat Committee this morning. So my wife's one of the coaches for archery at Southern Wells. In the NAS, the National Archery in Schools program, they have what they call an academic archer program. If kids sign up for it, follow through with it, it opens up some scholarship opportunities for those kids. There's national, in the program, there's certain things with grades and all the criteria. But Kathy and I, we had some influence that you can make your own rules too. And one of the things that we require is that, and I forget the number of hours they have to do, but the kids have to volunteer so many hours. Don't care if it's a church, don't care if it's 5 Point School, don't care if it's the, Mount Zion Conservation.
Boys and Girls Club,
We don't
whatever.
care where they volunteer. They have to get signed off, and the whole reason behind that, and it was something I felt pretty strongly about, is when they're in 4th grade, start teaching them that, hey, you've got to volunteer your time for something. That you don't get paid for everything, and it's not all about you. That get them used to volunteering when they're in 4th grade. That's when you can start in archery. And hopefully they'll continue that as they get older, because I agree, there was a generation or two that volunteerism just kind of fell out of place.
And I think, like, you talk to people that, especially from other generations, when they, like, if you came to town, you were told, well, this is what you need to do. You need to get involved in the Rotary or Optimist or Lions Club or something. And that's how you don't meet people. And today,
Today you go on 47 travel teams with.
yeah, you're actually like doing things to isolate yourself, or even more, you meet people only on social media. So that is part of it. Instead of that, like, oh, you're the new person in town. You know what? You would be a great fit for the Rotary Club, or you would be a great fit for whatever organization. Those things, that type of effort or thought pattern probably needs to be brought back into the nomenclature of people when they're like, oh yeah, welcome to the community, and hey, you know what? You want to meet some people that are also like in whatever business or whatever thing that they're involved in, that there's an opportunity to that. But it takes more, and it also takes, we even further isolated because of COVID, and to get people to think about, you know what, we can break outside of our four walls of a business or whatever. It takes some getting used to again, and those are things that
One of the things we
we have
learned
to do.
through this master plan
Yeah.
was all these housing studies we did. We found out that like half the county leaves for work every day. And
Yep.
primarily in north, they head north in the morning.
Yep.
In all directions.
Yeah.
And when you're leaving your community for work, when you get home from that, there's not a lot of extra time. You're not,
Yep.
if you're working on the north side of Fort Wayne from Bluffton, you're not, probably not setting up very many social events with the people you work with.
No. Yeah. And that brings even a more bigger onus on the third place, because your workplace isn't the people that you live around, and that makes it even harder.
It's true.
All right. Thank you. That's all I got.
All right, well, we need a motion to adjourn.
I'll make that motion.
We have a motion, do we have a second? Second. We have a motion, and a second, all in favor, right hand? Opposed, same sign.
Nobody wanted to leave.
Everybody's having such a good